Local advocates say homelessness is an ongoing issue in our local community. With the recent bitter cold weather, it can be even harder for those who are struggling to find safe housing.
New this morning, Northeast Community Action Corporation officials say they have seen an increase in people experiencing a housing crisis, with a lot of people unable to afford rent and close to losing their house. WGEM's Cindy Lyerly is live for us in Hannibal with what they're seeing locally and what's being done to help. Cindy, good morning.
Natalie, good morning. This morning here at Loaves and Fishes in Hannibal, they're hosting a free breakfast for those who are experiencing homelessness. It starts at 7:30, and NECAC officials say multiple agencies will be present and medical care will also be available. While they don't have an exact number of people in Marion County who are experiencing homelessness, one NECAC official says just this month they have seen around 16 different people come to them for help. This includes men, women, and children. Last night, she says NECAC was supposed to participate in the statewide point-in-time homeless count, which happens annually in Missouri. It is a way for counties to track about how many people are struggling with homelessness. However, because of the cold weather, it was canceled. They might not have a specific number of people in the county who are struggling, but she says each of those people have a story and deserve help.
Well, they are people. There are family, there are friends, there are neighbors sometimes, and they are all deserving to have some peace, to have a stable roof, to have a life, and those are the ones that we're trying to get to.
In Hannibal, Dunker says they see people living in the woods and under bridges. However, she says homelessness doesn't just include those living outside. She says it can also include people going from house to house and sleeping on other people's couches. And Dunker adds, sometimes they see homes with too many people living in them. Dunker says homelessness is a complex situation and a lot of different issues can contribute to it. That includes mental health struggles, substance abuse, lack of support, and lack of affordable housing. Natalie, back to you.
Cindy, thank you. There is help available for those in need of a warm place to sleep. You can visit Trinity Episcopal Church on North 4th Street in Hannibal. By the way, they are also looking for volunteers. Shifts are typically 3 to 4 hours, but they need the most help with their midnight to 5 a.m. shift.